Breaking late this afternoon, brand new bombshell reporting from the Wall Street Journal that might explain why Donald Trump appears so anxious and frankly flat-footed when it comes to releasing documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. The Wall Street Journal citing senior administration officials in its reporting that when Justice Department officials reviewed what Attorney General Pam Bondi called a, quote, truckload of documents related to Epstein earlier this year, they discovered Donald Trump's name appeared multiple times. From that report, quote, in May, Bondi and her deputy informed the president at a meeting in the White House that his name was in the Epstein files, the official said. Many other high-profile figures were also named, Trump was told. Being mentioned in the records isn't a sign of wrongdoing. The officials said it was a routine briefing that covered a number of topics and that Trump's appearance in the documents wasn't the focus. Now, in response to this reporting in the Wall Street Journal,
the response, man, I tell you, if America isn't good about taking a subject and running it from sea to shining sea, I don't know who is. Who's got the best media? Do we have that when we talk about just grabbing something and making it just linger? Man, I wish the paycheck was stretched like that. We all be satisfied. So here we are again, and welcome. It is Wednesday, July 23rd of 2025, 5:03 in the PM. And here they got this man out here. He waving. Y'all say howdy. Say howdy. Put in the comment section. Look, y'all need to be nice. Say howdy do. Howdy do, Mr. President. Now, I said this, I want to say close to a month ago, that just because your name shows up on something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you got something going on. Just because we have an environment like a Diddy environment, doesn't mean that he got something going on just because he's the President of the United States. And we had a guy way back in the day named Tricky Dick, Richard Milhouse Nixon in Watergate. Just because they got Obama saying he doing this and Hillary, And just because Bill Clinton, I guess I got to go there too. That depends on what is. Some of you old school, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I see you grinning. But you new folks, you got to Google that part. Yeah, saxophone playing Bill Clinton. He said that depends on what is. Sometimes it's something there, sometimes it's not. But let's dive a little bit deep, because I have a question as we head around this mulberry bush. Remember that? Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. Remember that thing? Here we go round the mulberry bush so early in the morning. Pearson, get off that chocolate, right? Making me crazy. Okay, here we go.
Let's start with Wall Street Journal reporting. We have not independently confirmed. We have received some statements from the Justice Department saying, quote, the DOJ and the FBI reviewed the Epstein files and reached the conclusion set out in the July 6th memo. Nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution. We have filed a motion in court to unseal the underlying grand jury transcripts. We'll get to that in a second. As part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings. So in that statement from the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General, they are not directly addressing the most significant part of this, which is the reporting that Trump was told, who's mentioned multiple times in these files. Now, there's also a statement from the FBI Director Kash Patel. It says the memo released on July 6th is consistent with a thorough review conducted by the FBI and DOJ. The criminal leakers and fake news media tries tirelessly to undermine President Trump's...
Same old stuff. Somebody did me wrong. Put it in the chat. Which president do you think will be a great blues singer? You know what I'm saying? They get this list. Somebody always doing me wrong. Then they got the mild version of blues, the James Taylor. What is that? Don't be sad, 'cause your sun is down. Right. You feel me? That's where we kind of at right about now. I think that's what we kind of at right about now. Now here's the guy. There he is. But this guy here, I'm at his site. This guy here, this brother here. He was mad. I'm not going to play the introduction. I only get a minute to play somebody else's stuff. Brian Tyler Cohen, Mr. BTC. Oh, he got upset. I will put that one in the description. And have y'all noticed that when I say I'm going to put something in the description, sometimes it don't show up? I wonder what that is. I've been meaning to ask y'all. I go and put something in the description. I go back an hour later, it ain't there. Inquiring minds like to know. Check this out.
The Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that. On the DOJ and FBI review. Epstein, on Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi briefed you on that. Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that. With
the blues. I think he would be the best blues guy, right? As I'm thinking about this is the Wall Street Journal. Let's do some doodling right quick. When was the Wall Street Journal founded? Let me see here. When was the Wall Street Journal founded? Date, month, and year. Let's see here. Okay. Because people, every now and then, we got to consider the source. The Wall Street Journal broke this today, okay? And everybody's on it. Put a little grunting. Everybody's in on it. July 8th, 1889. Let's see what we got here. July 8th, 1889. Let's see what we got. July 8th. This might be a little while, but baby, sometimes we find things out. Okay. We're talking, the Wall Street Journal is 136 years old and 15 days. Now let's bring this up to 2024. See if we got anything. Because I want to know all of a sudden why this hit today. Because it's everywhere. And I got a special question for all y'all at the end. I got a special question for all y'all. Straight up. Oh my Lord, look at that. If you take the Wall Street Journal, they were founded on July 8th of July 8th, 1889. And you make their anniversary 2026, because they just had a birthday. Subtracted from today when all this stuff came out, that Mr. President, Mr. Blues, his name is in the Epstein files. The difference is 50 weeks. I think you know where I'm going with this. This ain't no accident. This ain't no accident, baby. Look, people, they speak and I reveal it. How long we been talking about 50? I'm not gonna bore. Maybe, okay, look, people, look. 50 states in the union. What's his name? Former President Biden. December 24th. He passed 50 bills before he left office. 50. There's so many 50s. The gentleman that was unalived in New York early in the morning, they said about Luigi, United Healthcare CEO. Remember that? He was 50 years old. Should I go on? I believe this is 50 states. Something got to do with America. And they speak. See, because symbolically Trump is going down. And he represents America. You did? I kind of felt there was something there. Just kind of felt there was something there. Yeah. Wall Street Journal. See, they speak without speaking. Allegedly. Now, what else we got here? We already got that. Now, here's the article here. Wall Street Journal reports Trump is in Epstein files, while House calls story fake. There you go. Look, he got the microphone, y'all. All he needs is the glasses. I said, all he needs is the glasses. All he needs is the glasses. Look at it. He got the microphone. He about to sing the blues. Obama. Woke up this morning in the news. Right? Obama. Yeah, wow. He woke up in the news. They're trying to get me again. Well. But I gotta get Hillary the news. Yeah, there you go. He's singing the blues, baby. I helped him sell. I helped him sell it. Now, Wall Street Journal reports Trump informed his name, one of many that appeared in the materials related to Epstein. White House calls report fake news. Oh, wait. So what else? What else we got to say, right? Oh boy, judge rejects request to release materials. I'm done with this foolishness. What y'all think? People, when you think about Obama being on his wife's show the other day, saying the thing that he said, you know what he said, I'm not gonna get into it, I'll get in trouble. When you think about this situation, you think about the Diddy situation, you think about all this going on, all this, see people, they trying to make all the networks like a TMZ without announcing. You feel me? They try, look, I really believe that. I really believe that gradually they are making people like Walter Cronkite stir in his grave. Old school reporting, done. Gossip, break up, kiss up, make up, that's in. TMZ. Nothing getting done. But let me ask my logic question. Somebody sent me this video. Now, I found out about this a few days ago. China's city cash seizures begin. ATMs frozen, digital yuan forced overnight. Now, I have a Chinatown here in Chicago. I'm tempted to go down there and ask them, shout out to Chinatown here in Chicago. And if you know somebody who's Chinese, or if you're Chinese and you watch my show, I want this question answered. Is this true? Is this true? Have the ATMs been frozen? Huh? Listen to this 1 minute. Check it out.
China's biggest cities are now cashless, not by choice, but by force. ATMs have gone dark, vaults are being emptied, and overnight, the digital yuan is the only currency allowed. What used to be called your money no longer belongs to you, because right now, China isn't going digital, it's seizing control. What triggered Beijing to pull the plug on cash so suddenly and so ruthlessly? How are ordinary citizens surviving when their life savings are frozen overnight? And what does this mean for the future of money, not just in China, but everywhere? Let's start with what happened when people in China woke up and realized their cash had been quietly taken away. The morning ATMs went silent. It starts quietly. At exactly 4 a.m., Beijing time, the first armored vans roll into cities across China. They move in silence. No sirens, no announcements, just headlights cutting through empty streets and a fleet of government vehicles pulling up to local branches of ICBC, Bank of China, and China Construction Bank. Inside those...
So they went and got the ATMs. Then they went to the banks. You feel me? And they emptied out the cash. Come on, man. Is this why they got all this other news going on here in America? I want to know if it's true, because if this is true, this might understand why Trump started singing the blues. You look. You think I'm playing? You think they don't do theatrics? Let me show you something. Let me show you some theatrics, okay? Let me show you some old school. You think they don't do this? Y'all think I'm playing? Watch this. Let me see. Bill Clinton at talk show playing saxophone. I'm old school. I know what's going on. See? See? Y'all think I'm playing? I ain't playing. I know my history, baby, enough to do these videos. What's all these distractions? He's the one who said it depends on what is. So, is this true? Now, I didn't find too many articles. That's why I didn't do a video when I heard about it a few days ago. But somebody put it in the description today. They wasn't supposed to, but it's there. They put it in the chat. Unverified. Here's the key word. Unverified report. China shuts ATMs. Seizes all cash. Must use digital yuan. Source Hal Turner. Date July 22nd, 2025. A single video report has come out of China claiming China's biggest cities are now cashless. Not by choice, but by force. The report goes on to claim ATMs have gone dark, vaults are being emptied, and overnight, the digital yuan is the only currency allowed. The video report claims the following. China's biggest cities are now cashless, not by choice, but by force. ATMs have gone dark. What used to be called your money no longer belongs to you because right now China isn't going digital, it's seizing control. What triggered Beijing to pull the plug on cash so suddenly and so ruthlessly? How are ordinary citizens surviving when their life savings are frozen overnight? And what does this mean for the future of money, not just in China, but everywhere? People, come on now, it's Marvin Gaye time. It's time to talk. What's going on? I mean, UPS going through their stuff right about now, but I want to ask Brown and everybody else, what can we do for you? Look, if this is true, people, this would explain all the nonsense they put in our face. Like the Kiss Cam story. Y'all remember that? The Kiss Cam? Oh, the CEO. He out there hugged up at a concert. I forgot the name of that concert. He hugged up with human resources. Well, people look, ain't no better place to be. If you're going to be hugged up, you better be hugged up with human resources. You heard me. If you going to cheat on your wife and you the CEO, you better be hugged up with human resources. Y'all know I'm just playing. I just couldn't resist that one. Something going on. Something going on. All these stories. Baby. What else we got here? I took China's founding date, October 1st, 1949. October 1st, 2025 anniversary of China being founded. And 7/6 is the day, according to that video. Although the newspapers say another date, but the report from the video says on July 6th at 4 a.m. That's when they started going to the ATMs. So when you take 7/6/2025 versus 10/1, the anniversary of China being founded, the difference is 88 days. Now you know Trump's text number is 88022, and you know he erected 2 flagpoles? Yeah. What, about 3 weeks ago? And they were both 88 feet tall. This ain't nothing to joke about. Because many folks don't have no extra cash to stash in the first place. I don't know how China's getting by. Like I said, I'm thinking about going to Chinatown here in Chicago. But if you are Asian or you have Asian connections, or you were just in China and you hightailed it back to the States because you had to get to the ATM and then go back to China, I'm serious, put it in chat. Because people, let me tell you something. I'm looking at Bill Clinton, but when I see them glasses, that's gangster. Look, you understand? If you understand what I mean, you go to the ATM and can't get your money. You go to the bank, can't get your money. That's gangster. Put gangster in the comment section. Now, I don't know what's going to go down here in America, and I pray this is not true, but you know what? I went to TikTok because I just knew it was there. I went to TikTok and I couldn't find it. But when you go on social media, and just type it in, it's very few articles there. Very few articles. China shuts down ATMs. See, they got this. Limited money withdrawal, YouTube. It's on YouTube. But in terms of regular articles, this is the one I just read you, July 2nd. YouTube. See, that's YouTube. I'm talking about just regular articles. Is there a blackout on information? Huh? October. June 26th. Let me see. Go to number 2 here. October. It seemed to be a blackout on information. So you tell me what's going on in China. Tell me, look, people, I want to know. And what are we going to do? You know, look, we just had, now that I think about it, we just had that movie come out, what was that, December 8th, 2023? Barack Obama was involved in that thing. Leave the World Behind, right? Leave the World Behind. That came out, let me put this in the calculator, 12/8. Because remember, everything went crazy then, right? Internet went out, everything. So that movie came out on 12/8 of 2023, Leave the World Behind. And then they got the ATMs on 7/8. So let me see if anything is going on in terms of anniversary. 4, nothing there. 5, nothing there. But people, please let me know. This is serious. I ain't trying to see you, Bill. Let me know what you think. Have you heard anything? Or do you think this is just hype? And is it just hype to get our minds saturated toward what they're going to do in the future? What do you think? Woo, Lord Jesus. You guys have a good one. Thank you.